Alright guys, here we are at the end. This is the big kids version. Who knows, I may even do another version above 100%. But something I want to make clear to you guys for this last one is once you get to 100% with the beginner warm-up, that's your clue that you're probably ready to move on to the intermediate version. Okay, so right now, the only things I've uploaded are the beginner version of this warm-up because that's pretty much what all of you guys are working on at this point. But if for any reason you guys get this to 100% and you feel like you're ready to move on, just send me a message and I'll start working on putting the intermediate version up. So I'll do the same process where I'll probably put 60% up through 100 or maybe 70, not sure. But it'll be the same thing for that series of exercises. There'll be an explanation video and then we'll go through everything. We'll talk every little rudiment through and then I'll have a set of performance videos for you guys again. Okay? So let's get into 100%.
Lifetime warm-up, basic version with Tommy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right hand, left hand, right, left. Six, right, 4, 5, 6, left, 4, 5, 6, right, left. 4, right, left, right, left. 'Double strokes and eighth notes. Right, left, right, left. 'Double strokes and 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-stroke roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long roll. 7-stroke roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long roll. 9-stroke roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long roll. Singles and doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long roll. 3-stroke rough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long roll. Parallel combination. 1, 2, 3, 4.
out, guys. Hopefully you made it to the end of this series. You might want to stay on this exercise for a little while. When you get to 100%, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're done. It's a good indicator that you're ready to move on to the next stage, but there's always the option of pushing this stuff further too. One reason why I really like the beginner phase of this warm-up is because this is a very good routine to teach people to be conscious of their breathing, because it's not too demanding once it's been learned, and there's not actually too many elements to this. Once we start getting into the intermediate and advanced versions of this, there's going to be a lot of stuff to remember. Getting through the advanced routine was something that took me quite a while. I had to work it up from about 70% of the speed up to about 105, 105% of the speed, and that took about a year of playing this warm-up 2 or 3 times a day. But that being said, once you hit the end of the advanced warm-up, that's it. You've got everything. You can pretty much play all of your standard rudiments, and you can play them all in sequence, and you have the entire thing memorized. It's at that point it really does become a warm-up too. When you're learning the lifetime warm-up to start, it's really learning all of the technique involved in playing it, because the fact is, if you were able to get through this routine without practicing any of it, you probably had some pretty advanced technique to start with, or advanced instruction at the very least. So those are some things to keep in mind, is that once you finish one of these, it literally does become a warm-up, and then when you get to the next stage, the process starts over. It involves learning the new material that's going to be in it, and it also involves working it up to the recording tempo, which is a great goal. That's something I really love about these exercises. It's a very concrete way for you to feel yourself getting better, because every time you're able to move on to the next video at the next speed, you know you've made some really concrete progress. Okay, so that's one reason why I really love this exercise. I still do this routine every single day, and I have been doing this routine for, if I think about it, I've been doing this routine for about 10 years now, every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Anytime I have a performance that I'm getting ready for, a gig, I'm doing this routine. If I'm afforded the luxury of being able to have my pad out somewhere where people can't hear me, I'm doing this routine every single time. And that way I know every single time that I get on stage, my hands are thoroughly warmed up. And for some of my more advanced students, this is usually more with adults, you can absolutely transfer all of this stuff to your feet as well. If you're a double bass player, maybe you like playing a lot of metal music, or you really just want to develop some independence for playing jazz, anything really, the independence that can come from being able to do these exercises is pretty insane. And you can also develop some pretty crazy facility around the drums when it comes to this stuff. When I really got into the weeds of this stuff, I started splitting everything up between my hands and feet. So instead of just playing through these routines with my hands, I had developed a system for adapting it to playing fills and figures around my kit, using both my hands and feet to keep the flows going. And I gotta say, doing that has definitely been one of the most formative exercises that I've taken on in my playing career. And that's saying a lot for somebody who's been playing for 20 years. You know, there's plenty of people who've been playing longer than me, but that's nothing to wag your finger at. I've gone through a lot of material in my time. So I hope you guys will take this challenge on with me. It's called the Lifetime Warmup for a reason. It does stay with you for a lifetime. And if any of you guys out there are interested in where this material comes from, it comes from a man named Tommy Igoe, who was a very famous drum set instructor, phenomenal player, phenomenal musician, and a very big personality too. He's a very funny, bombastic, energetic guy. So if you guys would like to dig into this material further, I would highly recommend you get his DVD, Great Hands for a Lifetime, because this is where the Lifetime Warmup comes from. Okay? So if you guys are looking for some supplemental information, or you just want the DVD that most of this material comes from, I hope you'll check that out. And thank you for being with me.